Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Rush. Here we are on Friday afternoon, May 22nd. See, I got the date right. I got the right scene up. I think the audio's coming in through. All that good stuff. We did it! Yay! Everybody. Yay. My name is Chris Melisinos, and I'm the host of Boss Rush here. Coming to you live every Friday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. And with me, who do we have?
Dean Takahashi, the editorial director at GameSpeak.
Woo! Yay! And...
Hey, I'm Mark DeLora. I am the VP of Content Strategy for GC and GameDeveloper.com and other stuff.
Woo!
Yes!
Yes,
Wow.
Indeed. And
wait a minute, is that a new title again?
Yeah, no, I keep changing it.
yeah, let's focus in on that one there again. What is that title?
For a while. It's Content and Strategy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
GDC
good.
and GD.com, GameDeveloper.com.
Yeah, that strategy title seems to be going around lately. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. And then our fourth chair, Susan Cummings, she's going to be joining us just a few minutes late because they're pushing a new build of their game. I think she already posted about it on LinkedIn, so we'll be able to talk to her about all the goodies that are going to happen with her. With their new game or with their new build of the game. So it's great to have everybody back together. I have just gotten in off a red eye.
Nice.
From Seattle, and where I'm going to be spending a whole lot more time. Yeah, with my new role over here. They I don't know if they want me in Seattle all the time, but they're going to get me in Seattle more of the time.
Seattle's nice.
And then, of course, I was like, oh, let me settle into a seat with a little more legroom. And then it was ridiculous turbulence for like 2.5 hours straight on the flight. And I was like, all right, so I'm an exceedingly tired host today, but we're going to see what the hell happens. So anyway, here's my new, hey, listen, Navi shirt from the Nintendo store or the Nintendo employee store.
Yeah,
I should say.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
got
the
oh, that's
Navi,
cool. Look at that.
right?
Oh, I like that.
Glowing there. And I don't have the no, what do I have? What Zelda ones do I have here? But I do not have a hey, listen, which we are going to go ahead and get that. But anyway.
Hey, did you know that Dean had an amazing conference this past week?
Yeah, we are going to talk about that for news. But before that, before we jump in to talk about Dean's news,
I have a Nintendo San Francisco t-shirt too.
Well, you do.
And, you know, I think they make it for real Japanese people.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a little tight on me.
Yeah. I hear that.
I have to go get an extra large out of Nintendo.
Dean, I find that, whenever we're, overseas, you go shopping, at a store, you're just like, oh, let me try on this large. And then it's just like, oh, I tore that. Do I have to buy it too?
Not designed for Americans.
Exactly. It's like, is that an American portion or is that a European portion? But yeah. Well, I know we're all just kind of recovering because we've been all over the place. No, Mark, you've been just up to your eyeballs in a whole bunch of stuff over the past couple of weeks here. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Super busy. I had this week at home because I was sick, so that worked out great for me.
Yeah,
but I did miss GameSpeak, which made me really sad because I was planning to go.
Yeah, and I know Dean, you were saying that you've recovered from that a
Nina
bit.
was there, right?
Yeah. Yep, Nina's there.
But yeah, I'm getting over a month-long cough here, and it's still just wanting to hang around. So
yeah, it's crazy. The weather out here in the East Coast in the DC area was like in the 90s at the beginning of the week, and it's now like 60 degrees. It's just these crazy weather swings are terrible. So we just try to keep ourselves healthy as we're going out to conferences and getting all this work done out there. So I'm glad you, fam, are feeling better. And why don't we go ahead, since Mark already brought it up, why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about the news. All right, and we'll let that go through. All right, here we go. Dean, talk to us about GameSpeak Summit 2026. How did it go? Give us all the scoop.
That's the opening speech that Gina gave and I gave. So we did a little fist bump there. Hey, there's Susan. Hello.
Hey.
But yeah, it was a good conference. We had more speakers than we've ever had before. I think we crossed 160, and they kept on coming in even up to the last day. So that was the wonderful conference organizing experience. And 62 sessions, and we had more than 800 people come this time. Amazing. And compared to last year, it was 635 or so. So that's good. We're grateful to have that kind of turnout when, the industry's been in such tough shape, especially in California, which is our home base here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turned out great. Got to go ride on a yacht. And got to play golf with some of the folks too.
So Dean was on a boat.
That's right.
And going fast, man, and wearing Argyle-themed pashmina Afghan. Sorry, that's a Lonely Island reference. I'm sorry.
We're on a boat.
Man. Dean got it. Yeah. Good job, Dean. And our friend Susan is here too. Yay, Susan.
Hey.
Who came sneaking a little bit late. I think your mic may be off.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great experience. We had a whole day and a half of sessions, where 62 sessions were crammed into 5 different rooms, going at once.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun. Enjoyed seeing a lot of people again.
That's awesome. Yeah, Susan, we do not have you in here for some reason. Your audio.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's see. No, we don't. I'll go ahead and try. Go ahead, Susan. Let me hear you again. Nope, we're just getting some fuzzy noise. What?
Testing?
Yeah, now we got you. Testing. Attention, please.
I changed something with my mic, and now I keep having to mess around with settings every time I go into anything.
Look, our crew of people that join now you understand.
Yeah.
This is also what happens at conferences when they hand you a mic on stage and you go like, hello.
Yeah.
Anybody there? It's like happened all the time at our.
Dean, I don't think I ever shared this with you, but one of the Games Beats where I was emceeing for one of the days we were doing our mic checks in the morning, and I just started rattling off Beastie Boys lyrics, and the lead AV person comes up to me and goes, "That should be standard protocol for all mic checks going forward." I was like, all right, let's go.
And we also had like a hot mic situation in the green room too. That was always fun.
Okay, so tell us what happened.
Share with the audience whatever's going on in the green room.
Exactly. My tummy's awfully rumbly. I shouldn't have had that spicy food. Let me let a couple of crop dusters out before I hit the stage, right? Yeah, you never want to hear that happen on the hot mic.
Yeah. But surprisingly, everybody showed up who was going to show up. So
that's excellent.
That was awesome.
Once again, Dean, it's just a testament to to you, to Gina, to the whole team, and the quality of that conference. So again, congratulations to you, man. That's really fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. Very grateful. Thank you.
Awesome. I didn't have a chance to read through your opening, but in the piece here, written by you, I love the way you kind of bring in, what's so important about our industry and about the work that we all try, to do. And as you wrote in here, it's because gaming is no longer just influencing the future, it's helping define it. This industry is fueling innovation across Hollywood, finance, advertising, consumer brands, and beyond. And if you want to understand where culture, technology, and business are headed next, you need to be paying attention to what's happening here. And that's why the summit matters. And I couldn't agree more, man. So congrats on another awesome one.
That sounds like Gina's speech, so I can't take credit for those words, but I put in both speeches into that story. So.
Right, yeah, you do have that there. Yeah. So it's definitely, make sure if you're listening this morning, make sure you go ahead and check out the article there. I'll go ahead and drop the link into the chat. But yeah,
Thank
excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
And Susan, welcome. Tell us. So I already shared, but maybe share again. Why are you late coming to the?
Game development sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Christ.
I hear that.
It was so much better when I was like a publisher back in the day and could just whine when things went wrong.
It's like conducting an orchestra, though, right?
Jesus Christ. No,
Yeah, but when everybody's on the wrong page of the sheet music.
I'll say compliment to having a really cool small team. We pushed an update to our demo live today, and that all should have been fine until it wasn't fine, and you couldn't move. And one of our engineers' friend was playing. He's like, he can't move. I'm like, that's interesting. I can't move either. So anyway, I had to. It was like all hands on deck to make sure it was fixed. We had to roll back a Steam build, put a new Steam build. Found out, by the way, if you Control Alt Delete out of Steam, you can grab updates immediately, as opposed to having to like wait until it decides to check. And so there's a little pro tip for me. You immediately get the update. But it was fixed, and then one of our engineers put some Easter eggs in too, which are pretty funny. So I'm pretty excited with the new build. It's harder. We had some feedback from some people who've been playing that they thought it was too easy. Which is fine because there's loads of systems coming. We haven't really been pushing the difficulty yet, but we made it much harder. So that's fun. If people like to die in their roguelikes, that's good. Our marketing guys who told us that it had to be harder were getting really pissed off dying so much. So I'm like,
I don't know if you want to let the dev team set the difficulty level. They're the people who played the game the most.
I know. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm still fine.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten through your game once.
I know. I'm like, I thought it was challenging, but that's fine. But no, we've had some people like in our Discord who are like, yeah, the demo's really cool, but it's still a bit easy for me. And I'm like, okay, I take that as a challenge.
Yeah,
I think.
I say you start taking a poll of how old the people are that are playing the game that are saying that versus the ones that aren't, right?
I think it's a trend in like rogue games. I think they're getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
Like everything I have installed right now, which is mainly Monster Train 2 and Slay the Spire, are really, really difficult. And I've played both of those games, the first versions of, and I'm finding them much harder than the original was.
So is your game harder than Mixtape now?
A little bit. I did start it. I haven't gotten the finished Mixtape, but I'm sure we'll talk about that too. It really is. It really is delightful.
Right. It's just a big, like I said, it's like
me smile.
It's like a bowl of digital chicken soup. It's just like it's just so cozy and warm.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well, good. I'm so glad you were able to go ahead and join us today. And of course, for everybody that's
guys, play the demo. Tell me if you think it's too hard or too easy or just right.
Yes,
that would be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the link to that. But also, if you have any stories or recommendations for us, please go ahead and pop them into the chat, and we'll try to get them. And friend Darren Gladstone says, "Hey, amen, Susan. Game dev doesn't stick to schedules." That's right. That's right. That is exactly right. And Justin McMichael over there. Yes, hello, buddy.
Good news, everyone.
Yes, good news, everyone. Justin joined the chat. Dev teams have a bit of oh my god, I can't even. Masochistic streak for sure. Yeah, my laptop, I got to change the resolution on that. I don't even have my freaking contacts on today. So. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Justin. Thank you, buddy. All right. While I go find the link for Susan's most recent post, what you all got? What news we need to cover?
Let's see. Well, Subnautica is a good topic. Subnautica 2. So a week ago, they went into early access, and within 12 hours of doing that, they sold 2 million copies. And by now, they've sold 4 million copies. And it's kind of ironic because, they got into a lawsuit last year between Crafton and the 3 founders of the Unknown World Subnautica studio, and one of the contentions was that they were goofing off, and they allegedly the founders were goofing off. They weren't going to hit their target with early access, and so they should not be paid the $250 million bonus that they're promised in their contract. And I guess this went in front of a judge, and the judge said, extraordinarily, looking at the evidence, basically said, put the Subnautica people back in charge, right? And so the founders the CEO, Ted Gill, goes back into place. And then here we are. They didn't miss the 2025 contract window. But by May, they issue an outstanding game, right? It's a game that 4 million people are playing.
Yeah.
The judge had also then said, "Oh, and you get 9 more months to fulfill your contract."
Oh, really?
Right?
Nice.
And so had they missed September 2026, they would not have gotten their bonus. But now they got the game out. It's good, and I'm assuming they're going to get their bonus. So
1 million copies, $30 a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember if it was your article or where I read this, Dan, but that the CEO of Crafton was trying to get ChatGPT to help figure out how to get out of the contract.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was
Could not
evident,
believe it.
and that was evidence in the case.
Yeah,
Come
right
on.
there, Darren in
Don't
the
screw over my developers.
yeah, Darren in the chat said the Crafton CEO's ChatGPT lawyer just lost a case. Yes.
Oops.
Oh,
Well, the litigation is still going on, right? But yeah, the judge took that extraordinary step that made this launch possible.
It has led to a conversation in some of the communities I'm in about what early access means, and to what I think. So, among the people that I'm hanging out with, a critical consensus is Subnautica beautiful, very small. Which I thought was interesting. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but I mean, that doesn't seem like that far off from the original Subnautica, right? The original Subnautica, when it launched, was not exactly this huge giant game. It's just the game's been out for X billion years now, so it grew over time and had expansions and all those things.
And they're using some early access in their particular way, which is to go for a couple of years. And that's what they've said they're going to do, is that this is just the beginning of a couple of years, and by the end of that, maybe we'll get to 1.0. So.
yeah.
Interesting.
I think that at least from what I've seen, because this is a conversation I've had because we're facing our early access, is that I think that the most important thing with early access is that you're not complete, that there are still features to come, that you do actually want the community to work with you. And I think that, and I've heard this straight from Valve, that where early access has failed has been when developers are just using it as a way to, have a couple beats. If it comes too quickly, then it's clearly in bad faith that you really didn't care. You just wanted to, ship it early.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
my son, Langen's really loving Subnautica.
Oh yeah. Oh great.
I haven't played it yet, but he's really enjoying it.
Nobody's complaining that there's too little game here, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
Is there a VR mode? Is there a VR mode in this one
30.
too?
30.
Do you know if there's a VR mode in this one as well?
I do not.
It doesn't have a VR label on it on Steam, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, the original one did, and being a tad claustrophobic, especially things like being underwater, putting on a VR headset and going, and you're like, okay, can I breathe well? And Susan, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, of course, I have my coasters right here.
Nice.
I have them right here. I have them right here on my drink stand here, away from my. I don't know if I ever told you, but I actually accidentally dumped an entire glass of water into my mixer weeks ago and had to turn it upside down and let it drain and dry out over a weekend.
Your audio mixer.
Yes, my audio mixer.
Not your mixer in the kitchen.
No, not my mixer in the kitchen, no.
That would be okay.
That would be fine.
Depending on what I was doing, for sure. Right. Yes. All right. So Subnautica 2, congratulations to Kraft and the team over there on getting that all done and out the door.
I saw. What do we think about the fact that Matthew Ball has joined Xbox?
Well, we're jumping straight into that, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
What do we think, guys?
Yeah, I think congratulations to him is what
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he was at Amazon Games in kind of a similar strategy role before, and then he, of course, is the guy who did the 165 slide deck
Right.
about the state of the game industry this year. Did another one
data.
that was bigger last year, and he did raise that interesting sort of or he returned to this subject that a lot of people have discussed about the attention war that gaming faces with other kinds of industries, especially the addiction industries that are growing fast right now. So, it's I think it's another sign that Asha Sharma, the new boss there, is really open to listening to outside voices and is now bringing some of them in.
Right.
And I think that's a good sign that I think she wants to listen, but also shake things up in the organization a bit. So,
Yeah. Well, in this article here from the games business, it says, in addition to the two new hires, so it was Matthew Ball, and then it was also Scott Van Villet, who I forget where Scott, came over from. Oh, yeah, Chief Technology Officer. He's Chief Technology Officer. He was previously in charge of Azure OpenAI and AI core infrastructure at Microsoft, but also led engineering for Microsoft Teams during COVID-19 pandemic. Has a games background, worked across games for Amazon, including Alexa, Amazon Game Studios, and the App Store. Worked on Minecraft Fire TV, so good. Another person with some gaming background. And then they also promoted Chris Schackenberg to Corporate Vice President of Partnerships and Business Development. He was previously Vice President of Partnerships and Business Development and joined from Activision Blizzard, where he spent 12 years in various strategy, biz dev, and partner relations roles. So, keeping the bench tied to the industry. And to the business of video games. But, Dean, you did bring up a really good point about, about those other forms of media that are competing with games. And so where I differ slightly in that, it's not that they're competing with games, is that they are part of kind of a cadre of services that have now turned consumption into very small, tight loop transactions. As I think we talked about once before on here, and I've talked about it in some of the talks that I've been doing, and I'll be giving the same talk in 2 weeks out in Helsinki. Is the average TikToker in the United States watches, at the time I'd put together the stats, 133 TikToks a day at 42.7 seconds per TikTok, which is 90 minutes a day. YouTube follows the same type of compulsory viewing, but their videos tend to be longer, which means you watch fewer of them, and the time comes in a little bit shorter. But it's not just that. It is all the other things that Matthew talked about, and shorts and reels and the morning brew and NFL
AI,
Zone, right?
The whole list was AI companions, online gambling, sports betting, prediction markets, OnlyFans, and then YouTube and TikTok. And all of those things, he pointed out, are growing faster than games. Right?
Well, yes, but that fractionality that we're seeing across all those things, that's what you're competing with. Not any one of those services, but the fact that we are being rewired for how we consume things. And so when we then throw a 40-hour game up in front of your brain, your brain's like, I've been watching stuff for under a minute for like everything that I do, and now you want me to shut all of that off and focus for 2 hours into your 40-hour game.
There's
We're not connected.
There's always like a advantage to a disadvantage, though, right? The advantage for games is that in contrast to those other things, games are so compelling they command your entire attention, right? You can't be doing that much YouTube or other things while you're playing a game,
right?
But while you're doing those other things, you multitask.
Correct,
so
but
they don't get all of your attention.
But then we also find, though, that we get some of in talking to different cohorts, they get that nagging feeling of, okay, I've been doing this. Like, what else is there? Because you don't just watch the TikToks. You're watching a TikTok here and then doing this thing here, and that, like, you're constantly context shifting. So what I'm saying is, he's right in that those are things that are causing that kind of consumption disruption pattern. But it's not just those things, it's everything. So what we're really competing against is super low friction, because you have this distraction device with you everywhere you go. Every service now is breaking stuff, content down into super small chunks. And we have to evolve, like, and I'm not saying that we don't have a place for 80-hour, 120-hour games, clearly, right? Anyone go see a Project Hail Mary, 2.5-hour movie? Like, there's still places for all of that content too. But when we have a bulk of games that have always been built like those longer form pieces of content, delivering shorter form pieces of those content, 3-hour mixtape, right? Versus 40, 50-hour game to go through. It feels like that's where there is an opportunity as we think about game design, game loop play, and these sorts of things. Okay, Mark.
I totally agree. Or I was going to say, like, look at Vampire Survivors. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you're done. 30 minutes, you're done. 30 minutes, you're done.
Yep.
We absolutely looked at that. We're thinking about our game.
Yeah. And in the chat here, Rick Velez says, I wonder how this impacts the film and TV industries as well. So here's a fun fact for you. I don't know if I ever mentioned this here. There was a movie that came out from Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, right? It was an action movie. In the movie, the principal characters repeat the plot line 4 times to the audience. Like, because you're so distracted streaming at home, they're like, okay, now remember, the reason we're going in here is to blank, blank, blank. Like, you literally have the characters not breaking the fourth wall, but in the narrative, breaking the fourth wall and going, hey, stupid, remember that this is why we're standing in front of this building now. That's crazy, right? So it's not crazy. It's just a change. And there are great new, I think, experience we're going to have that fit within that framework,
It's notable that when we're distracted by multiple things at a time, like, I'm thinking about my own experience, like watching shows at night, and like, I kind of don't give a shit about any of them, right? They're all like consumable, tiny little experiences that don't have an impact on my life that maybe I've forgotten the name of, like the shows that I'm watching currently on streaming services, I'm like, I'd be hard pressed to tell you what they are.
You're watching the wrong stuff then, Mark.
No, it's just stuff that, that I play and it's in the background while I'm playing a game. It's like, it's just making me think.
Yeah, it's another voice in the room. Cybik over on YouTube, and thank you for joining us over there on the YouTube chat, says that they're a victim of that rewiring as well. As much as I'm singing the praise of gacha game quality, those games are also made for shorter attention spans over time. Maybe not minutes long, but they're usually 5 to 8 hour contents, and they drop every 4 to 6 weeks, right? And so, smaller, tighter games, right? Or gameplay loops.
I don't know about you guys, but like when I'm playing a game, every 3 minutes or so, I get this nagging feeling inside my head about maybe I should turn on CNN because I don't know what Donald Trump is doing to the world right now.
Oh, man.
How can you not know? How can you not ever know? It's like every waking moment there's somebody yelling the word Trump.
Yeah, Dean. Yeah, you're right to ignore that voice. Just shut that off. Go. Lean in and play. So,
in fact, it's been at least 12 minutes since I last saw a picture of Trump. I better go look at my social media and make sure he's okay.
Yin Chen says, we should summarize this boss rush every 15 minutes for your distracted
that's a great
listeners.
idea. Let's reintroduce ourselves.
That's right. Hi. Hi, I'm Dean Takahashi, lead editorial director.
In case you're tuning in.
We had a conference this week, everybody.
That's right.
Another one? Another one.
Oh, God.
Susan Cummings is going to have Wiggler come and join us as a guest at some point here. You have to go back and listen to some old ones. Here we go. That's right. Hey, Darren. All right, let's talk about. Oh, Dean.
I do have one session I did want to talk about from the conference, so Genova Chen came and he did a few things with us, which is nice, and he gave like an opening talk. But in a small room, we got Genova together with Celia Hodent, and Jessica Murray, and we talked about the Ethical Games nonprofit and their effort to create a code of ethics for the game industry.
Yep.
And so they have a draft of this already for people to look at and comment on. And Celia has been working on this for many years, but especially since 2019. And she's been, taking these ideas and presenting them to CEOs. And, the whole idea that she has really is to get the CEOs in the industry to sign onto it and adopt it in their organizations, and have it sort of being the guiding light of the companies. And so it's a voluntary code. It's not going to be, say, enforced upon the industry. But it's also taken 6-7 years here, partly because nobody is really rushing to just go and adopt something, right? And so they're being careful about what they put into it, and how it is, all very voluntary. But they're talking about things like, tech like AI content moderation, age estimation, proof of age documentation when it comes to, child safety. But Celia wants this all to be based on research and not some kind of moral panic, the way, everybody wanted to, ban violent games more than a decade ago, right? So, so it's a very interesting effort, and we had a good discussion on the topic.
Yeah, I popped the link to that article, Dean, in the chat for everybody, and I didn't have a chance to read through all of it. It's quite extensive, and the spirit of it and everything I completely align with, right? It's about how do we, respect the players, their time, their health, their money, their engagement, a good value exchange, right, for that time. And one of them in here, it was in section 1.2, is respect players' time and money. They should feel free to engage with games when and how they choose. Those engagement systems, notifications, time-limited events, progression mechanics should be designed to support enjoyment and avoid manipulative or coercive design practices, right? So that's, I mean, if we're being very honest with ourselves, that's where we saw a lot of the kind of free-to-play mechanics come in and take advantage, right, of those loops. And whether you call them, dark pattern or following the same sort of engagement loops that, slot machines have and, right, casino games have. It's
and I do think going back to Matthew Ball's, slide deck, that maybe, recognizing that games are different, that they're on the side of fun, really, is a way to understand how games can beat the addiction industries, right? Rather than become the addiction industries and take on a lot of the same practices. I think, focusing on joy, benefits of mental health, other kinds of things that are so good about games, I think, that's the way to win.
Well, it's going back to what we talked about last week about live ops and this push towards live ops games. One of the problems with live ops games is they're all about compulsion and why do you keep coming back? Why do you keep playing? Retention, all that stuff. As opposed to single player games and things like Nick's Tape, where all you need to do is play it once and then the developer's happy.
Right.
So maybe we need more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, Dean, Mark, do you have any comments?
Oh, I always have thoughts.
Yeah, no. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm okay.
No, come on, give us some.
I'm fine. I just think there needs to be variety. That's all.
Yes.
That's it.
There does, but when we saw
games are great. Sometimes I still play Peggle.
Oh yeah.
It's like all compulsion loops and major chords and like particle fountains, and it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, but then the question is, in that case, and I love Peggle too because it's like, look at all these lights and noises going, right? You feel, like a dog going, what's that? What's all of that? But every time you miss, that final green peg, it doesn't go, well, for $2. Yeah, don't worry.
It does though, Chris. It does.
No, it doesn't.
In the free version, it absolutely does.
Okay,
It's
in the
like,
free
you ran
version,
out of lives.
I'm
now
talking.
You gotta go and.
I'm talking about if you get the full version of it, right? Yeah, the free one.
Peggle on mobile, dude.
I've got someone at the door.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
We got you. There's somebody at the door.
I think some of this also goes back about the risks that the gaming industry faces now. And, Matthew did point out the consequences of slower negative growth for games. If you back out, we have 7% growth for the industry in a year or something like that now. But if you back out the growth that happens in China, which is exposed only to Chinese developers, right? And the growth that Chinese developers and publishers have as a share of the global market, and then back out Roblox growth and back out the growth that happens with the platforms gaining more of the revenue, right? Then you get to zero growth for the Western game publishers and developers in the industry. And if that starts to go negative, Matthew says, the only way that you can make more money is to extract more money from your existing players, right? And that's where you get into some of the dangerous part. It's okay, what kind of monetization schemes can we come up with in order to extract more money? And as soon as you lean towards extraction, then you are kind of pushing more in the direction of addiction and not pushing into fun. And so, yes, we do need variety, I think, of games that can play in all these different areas, I think, but regulators will come after you if you're going to go into the side of addiction, right?
I think I want to pick a bone with that to some extent, because although I do agree, I think those exact same dynamics are what inspire innovation. I don't know what to do. The things that I'm doing are not earning me the revenue that I need to keep my company afloat or whatever. That can drive you towards dark patterns. It can also drive you towards trying new things you haven't tried before that are not dark patterns. It's the good and dark sides of the force,
No, I can understand that. I mean, I don't know exactly what went on inside Matthew Ball's head, but I'm kind of more translating what his position is. Really.
I don't disagree that is a outcome, but not the only outcome.
Yeah. No, sure. I mean, look, there are places for this to happen, and there are economic models for free to play that support this. It's the most egregious of them, right? Or the ones that then poison the well, right? For everybody Matt.
Where would you put that?
What's that?
Where would you put that? Because I'm I'm sitting here sort of half joking, complaining about Peggle, right? But the thing about that game is that it's free. I can grab it, I can play it. It's way accessible, like that. Candy Crushes, all of the free to play games.
Sure.
They might have some dark design patterns back there, but they're also free experiences available to everybody. And how amazing is that?
Yeah.
When did we ever think we were going to be able to support a game industry off of games that we give away for free?
Well, right.
At what point is a crossover? Where do you say okay, this pattern, there's some super egregious stuff, but a lot of things are just does the market forces push back when your engagement methodologies are so egregious?
But somewhere you have to attach monetization in there somewhere, like advertisements or something, or you can't keep making games, right? You can't you can't make the next Peggle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But remember, it all, and this is a much bigger conversation because there is a very interesting article that was published by Dean that actually demonstrates this point, but that we're going to get to. But we have to remember where this free-to-play model came from. And the free-to-play model came from in the mobile space, where all of a sudden a very substantial player decided that everything should be $1. Because before that was put in place, people were charging. Madden on iOS at first was $25, and people were buying it, right? But then it was no, all this other content's $1, so let's make everything $1. And it just set this expectation. So that's when those patterns come in, because the economics don't work in that way, right? So there are some times we've pushed it too far, or that we've seen experience where it's been pushed too far. But I think, Mark, to your point, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but that's the choice the player gets to make, right? Mm-hmm. If that's what I choose to engage in, then that's what I choose to engage in, right?
Mm-hmm. And
there pluses and minuses.
Yeah. With everything, of course.
Yeah. And there's a version of this where I go farther than Matthew, and I just sort of take his argument, but I look at, what could turn out to be good for the game industry here, and that is things like how gaming can push back against these industries, right? I mean, regulation is going to help in some way, but gaming itself can, win by taking share of the mind that some of these platforms can reach, right? And so, like gaming content as a percentage of the content on YouTube and TikTok, right, is a counterattack into those platforms, right? Because you're raising awareness of games through their much wider reach, I think. And then if gaming can, rise from the subculture that it has always been to becoming mass culture for the entire world, that's a win, right? And so gaming's push into movies and TV, same thing. Like gaming culture is spreading and far beyond games. And Roblox also reaches people at the youngest age. I mean, it used to be Nintendo, but now it's Roblox and Fortnite, right? Yeah. And the addiction industries can't, right? They're regulated to the point of 18 and over, right? And so they if they push down into those areas, they get into big trouble, right? But so gaming has all these advantages that can make it the dominant culture of the world. Yep. And I think the more non-gamers age out of the world, right? Then the more percentage of people in the world are gamers, and so this is the path to inexorable growth for gaming.
Yeah, but now we're going to be hitting a point in time in the not too distant future where there aren't non-gamers. Everybody will have grown up with games in every age bracket of all society, right? That is coming. And so that will fundamentally change, or not fundamentally, but it will add an additional economic and engagement opportunity to the model that we've always enjoyed, which is shaped like a funnel, and now it's going to look more like a bow tie, right? I should also mention Matt Anderson here in the chat says his wife works in slot gaming. While he has issues with it, she loves it. Their industry has been a bit nuts with all the laws that have been changed, it over the past few years. And he said that regulation does step in, but it seems less and less. It seems like the laws around gambling is getting more open in the U.S., i.e. sports betting and prediction markets. So when we're talking about like what influences behavior, I thought this was a really interesting article that you put up there, Dean.
Yeah.
This is Crystal Beaumont, influencer agent.
Yeah. I think that like this might be an
words mean.
But it might be an artifact of the Trump administration, right?
Right.
Let's deregulate everything, right?
Right.
But if you look around the world, like India banned gambling, right? And if you look at crackdowns that are happening in different places like Turkey and Brazil, it's all in the name of child safety, right? So I think that the countries of the world are going to become more aware of where the line is going to be drawn when it comes to addiction versus fun. And I think that's actually a good thing.
So, all right. So in this article, though, Dean, and I saw this Crystal Beaumont, first influencer, I have to tell you, without even digging into it, I went, man, all of this sounds like it's spun out of Web3. And it did. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say Saga is a blockchain company.
Yeah, they adapted by shifting into AI agents.
Right. Mm-hmm. But, okay.
I don't know what half of that stuff means. What's GFAL? What are Diamond Jewels?
GFAL's name of a match 3 game company, right?
Oh, really?
They're also a blockchain game company.
Okay.
And they actually did they did the unusual thing of trying to come up with a fun game, and that I think that's one of the things that may make them successful,
Good.
despite the sort of yeah, I guess what is a blockchain light kind of strategy as well. So.
Okay, but here's the paragraph right in here that got me. Where was it? Here we go. Outside the game, outside the game. Okay, Saga's AI agent system brings her to life as a persistent social native personality that looks, sounds, and behaves like a real influencer. She's not presented as an animated character. She presents as a person. Okay.
Have you guys noticed that most of the content that you're seeing on social media is AI content?
Do you know that every time I hear those AI voices creep in, I get out of whatever it is I'm watching and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Stop filling my head with this nonsense. Like people are still pretty by and large, yeah, of course it's always getting better, but now we're at that 80% range, right? So to get the 20% is going to require a much heavier lift for us to get there technologically, right? All those other things. But,
But the fact that AI content is popular, I think brings up the notion that most people don't maybe realize it, right? And they're giving it their likes and things like that and watching it a lot. And so they're getting more of it, right? And so the human creators who are striving for attention, it seems like they're getting beat right now.
Okay. Right here in the Twitch chat, the only message that came in was AI viewers here at blank 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 dot blank. So now I've got AI viewers. Hey, we're going to blow up, fam, because we got all these AI viewers watching Boss Rush now every week.
That means we're getting important, right?
That's right, apparently. Apparently.
AI is chasing our audience.
Yeah, of course. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so what other big news pieces do we have to go over here? I think there was one that we should. Now we got like two that we should talk about. GTA 6 apparently is doing fine and shipping on time, right?
Yeah.
Did you all read the multiple articles and comments of Strauss?
No.
And I did an interview with Strauss for I did an interview with Strauss for like 5 minutes or 7 minutes here, and so I asked him like, so you must be happy that this is still on schedule, it's good news that there's no extra delay here, and he just gave me a yeah. I was like, okay, I asked the question another way. He still gave me nothing, and so I'm going like, what I sense is, I guess you're not actually going to celebrate yet, right? That because there's still a long time between now and November 19th, right? And, he's not going to say, yes, I'm so relieved that you did not delay it again.
Well, I mean, didn't he actually say in another interview, or another article, he's like, it's terrifying. The launch window is terrifying right now. Right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think
it's the last possible time, right? You can't launch out any later than that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think he did a good interview at Icon with Steven Totillo, right? And I didn't read the whole interview, but I think like he was saying that he was so frustrated that they haven't gotten a new BioShock out yet, right? So and so he is actually a human being who actually has those emotions.
I like Strauss.
But he deliberately chose not to share them. But he's also been, I don't know, maybe too vocally saying lately that he doesn't play games. So
I like that though.
But his spin on it is interesting. Like the interviews that he's done around team management and creating an environment where creative people can thrive, I thought have been really insightful.
Yeah. Agreed. Sure. His comments were, my job is not to be a gamer. My job is to create the best possible environment for game developers to thrive. And I know how to put that together. right?
Yeah.
I do think if you were also a gamer, it would help. But
Yeah.
Would it?
I won't-
Would it? Have we all heard stories where we have seen very strong personalities like that come into the room and go, no, it needs to be this way. And people kind of, capitulate to that because it's the CEO with a lot of, weight behind it and go. So yes, I imagine that he has probably played pieces of this. He's sitting in and experiencing some of this. He doesn't need to be that core gamer to do this if you have the right leadership team and those sorts of things, right? It's a team.
I mean,
It's a team sport.
certainly not a Take-Two. Look, I mean, I've been gone from there for a long time, but it would be very rare for the CEO of Take-Two to have anything to do with the making of games or any involvement in anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On the flip side, there was an article with Games Industry where he had a take on AI where he said, for those who believe you'll press a button and make a competitive game, good luck. Technology doesn't do that. Technology doesn't create. Technology enables human beings to create. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's.
I think they're very much on a PR thing.
A
right
PR
now.
tear right now.
About Grand Theft Auto, and there's some saying that that's why they laid off the AI group at Take-Two, which had nothing to do with Grand Theft Auto anyway. So none of these things are related to each other. I think people are just getting on, grandstanding right now. So which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I do think that it's a good thing when the company has board representation of creative people, for sure. Right.
Definitely.
And that they have to be in there making the decisions with the financial people, the suits, right?
You don't see that very often, though.
Yeah. Well, I know we're coming already to the end of the hour here, and I know that we typically then go in and talk about what games we're playing. But Dean, I'm going to hijack. Well, first of all, I know I have a button for that. Here we go. Games. Right. So I know. Look at that. But Dean, I'm going to hijack a game that games that you may be playing, because I want to hear your take on this one, Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. At the bottom here, you said you could see this being like one of people's most favorite games of the year. So how is this different than, which I'm a huge fan of the Lego games. I love them. How is this one different from the ones we've seen before?
I mean, I it's been a trend with the this last set of the Star Wars game they had, and they are really bringing AAA sensibility to design of Lego games, right? And if you look at that image right there too, that is a pretty darn good set of graphics there, and they're combining the blocky Lego construction of the characters with all kinds of sophisticated 3D shadow and lighting for things like the backgrounds, right? Or even the shape of the blocks have a lot of 3D characteristics in them now that you might not have seen before. And so what they're doing is really amping up, things like the whole environment that you see and the kind of mechanics that you can play through, and then also the storyline that covers the entire sort of landscape of Batman, from the campy early shows all the way to the Dark Knight, right? And so it's a really wide-ranging experience with a whole lot of humor built in that both maybe kids would get, but also adults would appreciate more, right? And so that whole approach they've had is really is getting fine-tuned here, and it's really shows in like a AAA product as opposed to a casual game.
Wow. And look at all the locations here: Batcave, Iceberg Lounge. Now, you did mention the original series, and then hopefully kids, well they'll be too young to look at that for what it is, as we as adults look back and go, that was some seriously crazy stuff that they did in the original Batman series. the Batusi. Right, and all the dancing around and Eartha Kitt and all that stuff, and you're just like, yeah, that was they were taking some big ass swings back then.
That game is out today, right?
Yeah.
The nice thing is that like this month has been a great month for games, right? And Forza has reached 6 million players, right? And then we talked about Subnautica reaching 4 million in early access. Replaced came out this month as well, and it's just really high quality content that's hitting well. I think the one game that's been disappointing that it didn't find an audience was Last Flag from the Imagine Dragons. So, but they didn't shut down their studio. They're just going to take another swing on something else, right? So I think that part is good. And but there's a lot of good content out there now. And it's generating the kind of millions of sales that the game industry really needs for its AAA content.
Well, before I have Susan and Mark close us out here with what they've been playing, I would just wanted to share this game that I just saw yesterday for the first time. It's going to be coming out here soon, and it looks crazy. And it's on the Switch too, and it is this like train. It's like a rail grinding game where
it's like Jet Set Radio.
Yeah. Yes, it's got Jet Set Radio vibes. It's got Sonic, adventure kind of like grinding vibes. It's got it has all of that, and of course, it's awesome, crazy. It's an amazing soundtrack to it, which you can't hear right now, but this is coming out here. I was visiting Scott Hawkins up at Nintendo's headquarters. It was my first time ever going to a Nintendo office before, so it was just fantastic for me, and this was playing in the lobby, and I was like, what the hell is that? So this may be the next game I jump into, because oh my goodness, it looks just so damn beautiful. Love that style, but I haven't had much chance to play much of anything. Mark, Susan, why don't we start with you? What are you playing right now?
Well, last episode I quickly grabbed Mixtape, so I've started Mixtape.
Oh yeah, tell us.
Yeah, I'm not that far in. I'm like an hour in, so I still have a way to. I didn't have that much time, so I've started. It's really cute.
I finished it in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to be long. That's fine.
But how much did you love it when like the main character would look at you and explain why this song was chosen for what is about to happen?
Yeah.
I love that.
It reminded me of watching. Did you ever see the film or read the book High Fidelity?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Or Ferris Bueller back in the day. We just look at the camera,
they're breaking the fourth wall, right?
Yeah, but in a way that's relevant to the game and explaining it, you're like, yes, that is the perfect song for what you're about to do.
Yes. I've done the skateboarding bit. I got a kick out of the stuff in the car where you're like bopping your head and like messing with the door and things like that. It's cute. It's really, really cute. It's charming. I smiled a lot, so I'm gonna play more of it.
That's awesome.
When I was and our game, obviously, so Lee and I are constantly, and any advice, looking for the sort of co-op games that we like to play, and we've sort of run out of stuff now. We went back to World of Warcraft for a while. We're kind of done with that again. We were playing loads of different roguelikes, like No Rest for the Wicked. I reinstalled Dungeon Defenders 2, which I think I played years ago, which I've heard good things about. So I'm going to see if maybe that scratches the itch for a bit. But there are not enough co-op games out there, like, sort of two-player co-op games. We don't want other people around. We just want to play
couch co-op.
Yeah.
Couch co-op. Yeah. Or, on our two PCs, more PC, less console. But so if any of our audience have suggestions, we scour Steam every couple months for like cool co-op stuff.
Yeah.
RPGs, roguelikes,
Yeah, please pop it in the chat or reach out to Susan directly and let her know. That's awesome.
Need new stuff.
Very good. Mark, how about you, buddy?
I've been playing Arc Raiders.
Nice.
But only a little bit. My brother's been watching lots of Arc Raider videos and talking about what he's seen. And I was like, okay, I got to get in here and run around and try it.
The question is, are you playing it well?
No.
Okay.
That's not a question. For sure. For sure.
I'm still going back to it, so we should play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I've done 6 runs so far, so I'm like just kind of getting my feet wet still. But it's a nice little, after dinner mint between teleconferences.
Oh, listen to that, an after dinner mint. I love that. That's fantastic.
Playing in trios is good protection, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fewer people are going to pick on you if you're running around with 3 people. Right?
Yeah, that's my recommendation, having never played it. So, but that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week for Boss Rush. Yay! And we did it. I don't think we really had a single technical glitch on our end. LinkedIn decided to go ahead and hitch a couple of times, but we'll make some calls. Anyway, thank you all for spending this time with us on Friday. Please let your friends know that we do this every Friday, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. If you have any other questions, recommendations, other news that we should be covering, or some other things we should be doing, please let us know. And thank you to my co-hosts here, my awesome friends, and my family, right? The family we get to choose. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day and an awesome weekend. And we'll see you next week on Boss Rush. Bye, gang. Woo!
Bye, all.